Hey, what's up guys, my name is Charlie. Today we're going to be reacting to some more James and Mike Mondays, and it's going to be Atari Video Games Part 1. Oh boy, so yeah, let's check out the video, shall we? Let's go.
Remember your first time playing Atari 2600?
Vaguely. When I was really young, before the NES, my family had the Commodore 64.
Commodore
and we had the
64,
Atari 2600.
yes.
I think the first time I ever played Atari 2600 wasn't even at my house. I think like a neighbor had it.
Yeah, the Atari 2600 was probably the most important video game in existence. I think we were born around the right time when it was still popular. It was after the video game crash had happened, you know.
Video
I
game
didn't know
crash
about
about, yeah,
I
the
didn't know
ET.
either.
Oh, there was a video game crash that happened. No, I was just like
I wouldn't have
starting
even
to play it.
I wouldn't have even understood what that was at that age. I was so
Yeah.
young. I was like 3 years
I still
old.
don't
I was just
understand
looking
what
at
it's
the screen
all
and be like,
about. It's
oh, you know,
crazy.
Pac-Man. Kids that are really young seem to
Frogger. God, I love that game,
really
Frogger.
like Atari
Used to play the
lot
crap
because
out of that
it's
game.
so simple and basic.
Yeah.
Because if you play like some of the games on like Xbox and Wii and all that today, some of them are like a little bit too complicated for very young kids, like 2, 3, 4-year-olds.
Yeah.
But like Atari, even a really young kid can pick up an Atari game
Yeah.
and like, see the character
Yeah.
moving around. It's very simple. So, I
Simplistic.
think it's a good beginner console for
It
little
is.
Yeah.
kids.
It's a good beginner for me.
And it's good
And what
nostalgia
I
as
love
well.
about the Atari games is that they take a lot of imagination because the graphics are so primitive
Yeah.
that you have to imagine what that is, what that's supposed to be. And there's like, you know, on the cover of the game, you can see like, you know, something crazy going on. There's like a guy with a laser gun, and there's like
They have these
robots and-
amazing like paintings that somebody
Yeah.
did on the cover. So you're like, wow, this is gonna be great. And then you turn the system on, it's like a square.
Yeah. Mostly it was the artwork.
But it's great.
Artwork.
Like there's nothing like
That sort of
Atari. I
game.
don't even know how to explain it, but it's just there is nothing like the Atari 2600. It is the king of video game consoles.
Atari's become kind of like forgotten, I feel like, in the past few years. When people go back to retro video games, it's always NES. Like everybody's talking about
Yeah.
NES. Not as many people talk about Atari.
Atari,
very
yeah.
much anymore.
It's always in
I
the
feel like
Super
getting
Nintendo
more
Entertainment
forgotten.
System or something like that.
Yeah, it might be because a lot of the games there isn't very much to say about it. Like you'll
Yeah.
see as we go through this video, we're just gonna breeze through a lot of them because you play a game and you know there isn't much to say. It's very self-explanatory.
Superman on Atari 2600. There's a lot to say about that game because it's very involved, kind of like an NES game. Whereas if you pop in Q-Bird or something like
Q-Bird.
that, or Asteroids,
Jesus.
you're just shooting something.
Yeah.
That's about all there is to it.
The slogan was, "Have you played Atari today?" Dun, 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 dun.
Have you played Atari today?
I haven't
If you
played
seen,
Atari
like,
today.
all the old
I've
Atari
played Atari for
commercials,
quite a while now.
Even if you're like not really into the system, you should go check out the commercials at least. There's that one about like Vanguard, right?
Vanguard's my favorite commercial. When they're playing the game and they're like, "Who's gonna destroy the god?" Luther destroys the god.
And then they show a close up on this guy Luther, and he's like, it's really funny. You know, Atari really like invented the video game genre pretty much. There was arcade.
The
Yeah.
first pause button in a game.
Yeah, I heard
Pause
that. Yeah,
button,
they had
first
them with the
wireless
first pause button.
controllers.
Yeah.
There was that Sword Quest contest.
That Sword
Real
Quest.
treasures. Where are those
Yeah.
treasures, by the way?
I think they were
Atari
melted down, I
Minecraft.
heard.
Hook it up to your
In one of
mind.
my
Yeah, you
comments
hook it
said
up
they
to your
melted
mind
it.
somehow. Controls like they were doing crazy shit back then.
And what's also weird is how like you could play Atari on like a ColecoVision with the right adapter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you can cross
It's a
play.
crazy
Like, 'cause it was in
experiment.
television and
Oh, you're saying
all
like how you
music.
could hook up like a Genesis controller?
You could do that too. You could hook up a Genesis controller, a Sega Genesis controller, and play it on an Atari 2600.
How does that happen?
When does that ever happen?
There must have been some thought that went into that.
Yeah,
I never.
I mean, it doesn't benefit. Like, you'll never play Sega Genesis with an Atari 2600 controller.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try that sometime.
Yeah.
Never thought.
James and Mike
Yeah.
play Toe Jam and Earl with Atari controllers. That'll be a new one.
We gotta do Toe Jam and Earl sometime.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Atari was
Mounting.
weird. There were so many weird things with Atari, especially the 2600.
At the Atari offices where they made all these crazy Atari games, Howard Scott Warshaw, the guy who made the E.T. game, and he also made Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones, the Lost Song, yeah.
To get inspiration for the Indiana Jones game, you know what he did? He
What?
would walk around the offices cracking a bullwhip, pretending he was Indiana Jones. Kind of like how an actor tries to get into a role, you know, before they do a part. Well, that's what he was doing. But people would come to the Atari offices. You know, they'd have like families or whatever come out. Oh, this is Atari. Check it out. You know, and Howard Scott Warshaw would come around the corner like cracking a whip, right? And then the other guy who coded like the Pac-Man game, he did this thing. I think his name was Todd Fry.
Isn't he the guy who had to figure out how to get the arcade Pac-Man onto an Atari 2600?
Which is why the
cartridge.
game wasn't as good as the arcade, which is what people complain about.
Yeah.
But, you know, that was probably a very hard job to do that, to make it, well, making any arcade ports difficult. Anyway, so what he would do, he used to, like, put his hands on the walls and put his feet, like, on the walls and try to, like, walk along the walls. And he'd like,
Why?
You know, he'd get better at it. So he would do this, like, every day for a year or something like that. And eventually he got to the point where he was so good at, like, walking along the walls that he could actually, like, turn corners as he was going down the hallways. So imagine walking into, like, Atari headquarters. You got Howard Scott Warshaw cracking the fucking whip, this guy walking along the walls, and everybody in every other room, like, smoking something.
Yeah,
Like,
they were
the
definitely
thing is,
smoking
with
something.
Atari, it was such a new market. It was such a new business when video games were booming like that, and they didn't really supervise these people. They just let people come into the office whenever they wanted. So people would be there like all hours of the night, coming and going, and nobody would really check in on them. They'd just be like, here, make this game, and then turn in the finished game. And they wouldn't like there wasn't really any kind of, you know,
It's not like
quality
control.
control,
It's not
yeah.
like it is today where
There was no
like, let's
quality
say Nintendo,
control.
like Smash Brothers or something like that. You have a team of probably like 1,000 people or however many people working on the game,
so many people looking at it and so many people you know,
checking it and all this. You know, when they made some of these games, it was one guy who did the graphics and one guy who coded it, and that's it.
Yeah.
I almost feel like that it's more creative to do it that way because you can just have an idea in your head and then just make it, like whatever it is. And as long as you can code it and turn it into a game, there you go. But these days, you know, you have a team of people. Like,
Yeah,
looking
it's
over
much more
something, and it's
expensive
so,
these
like,
days.
scrutinized. I feel like that maybe it's like a too many cooks spoil the stew type of thing. But then again, there's like indie games like on the Xbox, like Live Arcade, where like indie publishers, it's just a couple guys making it. So that type of game making is still alive today. But that's what it was all about back in the days of Atari 2600.
True.
video games have come a long way.
Oh, yeah.
And for the most part, they've gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
But there's
Mostly.
a charm to Atari 2600.
Some of the games are
It
horrible.
could never be matched again. Like, you could never make another Atari 2600 because it was just something that could only be done in that time.
But back when they actually made these games, the systems that they had to make these games on were very, very difficult to use. Like, these games were hard to make. The shit that they had to do to fucking make these games back then was insane. Like,
They were pioneers.
yeah, I heard that you had to be, like, there was only 50 guys in the world that were smart enough to not only be able to actually code the thing, you know, to do the math and everything involved, but also to be creative enough to make a fun game. So it was a real skill to be able to do this back then. So I have a lot of respect for the people who worked on Atari.
If you want to know more about Atari, check out Once Upon Atari.
Oh, it's on Atari.
Hosted by Howard Scott Warshaw.
Yeah.
Damn.
Now, we're going to play some Atari, and we're probably going to break this video up into many parts. So you're going to see more Atari videos as time goes on.
Okay.
I think we're going to talk about some more classic games, and then we'll get into some other stuff later.
We'll start 101. We'll start with more, you know, famous Atari games.
You got
Like the
Pac-Man,
Atari
you got
porn
Space
games.
Invaders. Alright, let's check them out.
Okay. James and Mike plays Atari Part 2. Oh, Jesus. Okay, that's the end of the video. That was good. I enjoyed that very much. Hopefully they get to play, James and Mike get to play Atari Porn, because that was absolutely hilarious. The Angry Video Game Nerd Atari Porn episode was just absolutely hilarious. I mean, my God, seeing... I don't want to describe it, actually, because it was disturbing. I mean... it was like screwing a chick against a cactus or something. I mean, it was bizarre. I'm trying to forget about it. But yeah, it was also in the Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures game as well. One of the stages were like that. But yeah, we're getting off subject here. But yeah, the Atari video game part one. I'm fascinated to see what part two is gonna be about. You know, what sort of games are gonna play. You know, what they like about it, what they dislike about it. It's gonna be quite interesting. But yeah, if you like this video, make sure to give a like, comment down below, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.